Hello, students. How are you all? Yeah, we have come back with a new chapter. I think you are all at home, maybe bored, but we should utilize the time. I know its time is compensated, and we should be utilizing with some or the other things. Fine. You must study new, go through some new storybooks, read English books, anything you like, but we have to go through the studies. So we have taken up a new platform. Your books are NCERT books. I am your Bhowmik sir, and you're in class 8 now. So class 8 reader, first you must be knowing the first chapter is, I'll be flashing the videos, the best Christmas present in the world. What is Christmas? Christmas, you all know that it comes round about 25th of December, and 25th of December you celebrate having presents from the others. So as you have this, so here there is a story quite different how the person, the author, there is two things here. One is a plot, another is a subplot. The plot is that the author is having or interacting with something that I'll be telling. And now here first the author goes through, this is the time when there was a world war. There has been two world wars. World War One started from 1914 to 1918, and World War Two 1939 to 1945. I think you know the atom bomb dropped and all these things. Fine. Now we will go through these things later. Now there are some words written here, like 4th July 1776, 6th August 1945, 12th April 1961. These all the dates you can find out in search in your net. Obviously you have been doing that, and history is quite an interesting subject, I tell you. If you go through the dates, it's quite interesting. Sometimes you find it boring, but it's quite informative also. So in this case there was a war between the British and the Germans. Now British we are calling them as Tommies here. Tommy, they are generally termed as Tommy, and the Germans are named as Fridge. F-R-I. This is, it's a spelling I'll be writing out here. It is F-R-I-T-Z. It is Fridge. Okay. Now next, as you see that this Fridge is there. Now here we start with a story that the author gets to a kind of a shop, that's a junk shop, and I will be underlining the words as I go on, and spotted. This word is already given here, this side you can see it is given this side here, spotted. And here he spotted a kind of a table, a roll top desk, a kind of a roll top desk. It has got different layers and generally made out of oak. Oak is a hardwood, mind you, and generally these are too expensive because it's made of a wooden material. And as you see, it was going for a very low amount. Now in this case we see that the table was in a very bad condition. Now, and many of the places the leg was clumsily mended. Generally what happens is that a lot of heat, water takes a toll of the on any of these kind of tables which are made out of wooden things, and generally it gets folded up. So here you will find that the veneer, it has been told that the veneer gets I removed the roll top completely, and he had already paid it, mind you. Here this is now that Christmas Eve is the evening of 24th actually, and 24th, 25th you can say, but generally it's meant by 24th itself, a day before 25th. So as we go there, then you will understand that yes, I removed What he did is that after putting it there in the workshop or the garage, whatever you tell, the veneer had lifted almost everywhere. Now it looked like the water damage. I told you just now, the fire and the water had taken damage, and you can see that the last drawer was stuck fast. There was a drawer there. Now in that drawer, what had happened is that I'll scroll up. Now here, what had happened is that, for you, I'm doing this again and again. Yes, there was a secret drawer below this, and this part revealed a shallow space. And here it was a black tin box was sellotaped to the top of it, and was a piece of a lined note paper lying there. Now, what do you understand by a line note paper? Line note paper means there will be a kind of, as you give examinations, right? There's a single line, double line, and 4-line papers. The same way, it was a lined paper where something was written with a shaky handwriting. Shaky must be some or the other, the person must not be well. And who had written this, I'll inform you, though it will be informed to you later on in the book. But Jim McPherson. Jim McPherson is the person who is the person who is our main story character. And another person is his wife, that her name is Connie McPherson. Okay, obviously Jim McPherson's wife, Connie McPherson. Now here, as you go a bit detailed now here, Jim's last letter received in 25, please remember this date, 25th 1915, to be buried with me when it comes. Why buried? Because it was a wartime, mind you, and the person was maybe quite means the last letter he used to write letters to his wife. Who is his wife? Yeah, obviously correct, you are Connie McPherson. Connie McPherson used to receive every year during this time of year, the Christmas Eve time, 25th December, she used to receive letters. From whom? Yes, correct, Jim McPherson. Now January 25th 1915, the last letter. Now I knew as I did it that it was wrong of me to open the box. Why it is wrong? Yeah, obviously it is wrong, dear. Whenever you open somebody else's information, tables, you should not be opening locks and keys. I think there are many locks and keys, many important papers of your parents kept somewhere. They ask you not to touch, right? So you should be taking permissions. These are things, these are values to be taken from any of the lessons. So one of the value which you got just now is that you should not be touching any other things, any other person's things, say for belongings, without the permission of that person. Okay, even if you have a lot of curiosity. Now curiosity here, the word is already mentioned here. You can see the word is that here it is mentioned, curiosity. Curiosity means whenever you like to know something, okay, about something or the other. So you have a demand inside in yourself that you need to know. Fine, yes. Now next we'll go and scroll it up. Yes, inside he finds, this is the part 1 ending, inside he finds that there was a box and there was an envelope inside that box. And the, what you call the, this is very important, mind you, this part I'm telling you, last part. Yes, Mrs. Jim, it was addressed to Mrs. Jim McPherson. I already gave you who is Mrs. Jim McPherson. It is Connie McPherson actually. 12 Copper Beaches Road, it is Copper Beaches, a place, it's a area, as you can call a township or something or the other, Bridport and Dorset is the whole area. Now I took out the letter. Who took out the letter? The author took out the letter, mind you. He got the table, he broke it out, the drawer, and from that he got the black tin box. I'm just going through all the parts, mind you. Now he unfolded the letter, though he did not wanted to do that, but still, as it was not delivered. So now you see the date been written there is December 26, 1914. This date is not of your time, mind you. You are staying in 2020. This is the time during the World War time, fine, when I told you British and the Germans were having a great fight, means world wars, fine. And these wars are not, we are also fighting against corona, right? You're staying at home, being locked down, quarantined, and all these things, whatever. Now here we find December 26 is the date. It has been dated at the top. Now this is the end of the first part. Now we go on to the second part. Here we have got some questions here, and that I hope you will try to answer this. We'll come back with the answers, uh, and we will be taking down what did he find out in the secret drawer and all these things that you already know. What do you think had he put? Who do you think had put? I think you know, but still I'll give you a kind of a hint. That is Jim McPherson had put. Now that is the thing. Now second part deals with the subplot. What is a subplot? Subplot is a kind of a plot which is inside a plot, a story inside a story. Now here, mind you, the story inside the story is that of Jim McPherson writing the letter to Connie McPherson, right? Now Connie McPherson, I told you, obviously you must be remembering that Connie McPherson is the wife, and she used to receive the letters from Jim McPherson, and that is what the thing is. Now whenever he used to be there in the Christmas Eve time, he was in a very happy frame of mind. Now in that happier frame of mind, there was an incident that had happened in the battlefield. There you will get the things, and here also in the material you will be getting the fridge line. The fridge are for the Germans. So he was one of the officers of the English side, and he used to write letters, and one incident had happened, and that he was trying to relate it to his wife. Now here he said that was a Christmas morning, and they were having a fight there, and one of them came out with a white flag. What is a white flag? White, as you know, is generally where I'll show you the white flag. It is here. I am underlying with a red part. Now mind you that white flag is generally for the peace. At that time you cannot shoot a person, or the war is a stagnant time at that time. Mind you, I'll tell you, the trenches are like this. The trenches are like this, and this is a no man's land, and there's a trenches. Here is the Tommy part, and here you can see the fridge part. So they cannot cross this, understand that. And here are barbed wires. If you have not seen the area, these are barbed wires, and these are called a no man's land. Okay, so somebody has to come out with a flag here to understand this. Okay, now next we will go on to the next. Happy Christmas, Tommy. Happy Christmas. When we had got, now see, Happy Christmas was told by that man, the fridge from the opposite side. He was carrying a white flag. Now here they were very much surprised. The Tommies were just surprised. Why surprised? Because that was a battlefield and not the Christmas evening they were celebrating there. So anyway or the other, now same to you, say Fred, same to you. Who shouted out? Who shouted out? Yes, correct. The Tommies, or whenever somebody wishes you good morning, or you say good morning, then see you, somebody wishes back to you, right? Yes. Now thank you or something or the other, you sit down, something or the other. That reciprocation comes back, no? So that same reciprocation came back from the Tommy side. Same to you, Fridge, same to you. I thought that would be that. What do you mean by this line? That would be that means actually that would finish up that matter. Okay, but we all did. But then suddenly one of them was, it will be, say for example, keep your heads down. I told the men it's a trick, but it wasn't. Now we will be getting back. Say for example, one of the Germans, here you see one of the Germans was waving a bottle above his head. It is a Christmas day, Tommy. We have snaps, we have sausages, we meet you. When we meet you, yes. By this time there were dozens of people. I told you the area, one is the trench area of the Tommy's part, another area is that of the the fridge part. They cross and come back to a place where you cannot fight or shoot or something. You have to come and talk there. Fine. Now they came to the no man's land, and everything will be happening there now. All along their line and hours, I could see men walking slowly towards one another. Grey coats. Now, grey coats have been worn by the one. You must be understanding first. Grey coats is a long kind of coat. Okay, that are generally worn by the Germans. It's up till the knee length, or a bit more than the knee length. And khaki coats have been worn by khaki. You know the word. Khaki has been introduced by Britishers to us when they were ruling us. So khaki coats are the ones worn by the Britishers. So they were wearing that, and they came all along and to the middle. In the middle of the war, we were making peace. That's a very strange thing to be done. You cannot imagine, dearest Coney, my feelings as I looked into the fridge officer. One of the important, I'll again underline, this is Hans Wolf. Hans Wolf is from a place called Dusseldorf, and his profession was not fighting before. He had come for I play cello. Now what cello is the orchestra or happy, you can say. Cello is a kind of a guitar, long guitar. The person generally sits, if you have seen an orchestra, there the person sits at the side with a long kind of thing. It's a kind of a guitar thing only, kept horizontally and been played. Now next you will see that in this place he had never been to Dorset, but he had known a lot of things about Dorset because he had read in a book like Thomas Hardy's book, Far from the Madding Crowd. Generally it describes he is able to know a lot of things because he has went through English books. Now here we see the Gabriel Oak and Sergeant Troy and Bathsheba and Dorset and everything. These things are being the point of discussions. Okay, generally what they do is that they are discussing about these matters. Okay, now he also told that he had a wife, one son, born just 6 months. Means the son was only 6 months old, and at that time they were laughing, smoking. Though smoking is not good for health, but that is the thing they generally do. Okay, and laughing, talking, drinking, eating. Now Hans Wolf and I shared the lift of our wonderful Christmas cake that is called a marzipan. Now I'll show you what is marzipan. It's a sweet covering that you'll see left hand side. The meaning is given. It's a kind of a small kind of cake. It's not a cookie even, and not a kind of that kind of cake. It's a small cake. It's made, coated with sugar and made of eggs, obviously. There's never a Christmas party like this. And then we'll go on to the place like playing. They played a football match, and in the football match the fridge won, and the fridge won by 2-1. Okay, though they would be preferring cricket here. I would prefer cricket. And then we Tommies could be sure of winning probably. We laughed at that and we watched the game. We found out that the game was won 2-1. But as Hans Wolf generously said, our goal was wider than theirs. Obviously, the goal of the other person, if it is wider, you can score more goals. And if it is a small one, then you can score lesser goals. So that's why here it was scored 1. And obviously here it was scored 2. That was what he is trying to notify. Now next they sang songs. You can see a lot of things like Still Natch, Silent Night, and While Shepherds Watch. These are the songs, the carol songs. Carol songs are generally sung during time of the Christmas. So these were being sung, and it was felt by both of them that this kind of situations are generally being found in the places where you have you generally don't find it in the war fields, and they didn't want any kind of wars also. So now they decided that Dearest Coney, lastly he finishes off, and I will also wind up this part 2. Part 3 I'll be explaining in the next class. Dearest Coney, by Christmas time next year, this war will be nothing but a distant and a terrible memory. I know from all that happened today that both armies longs for peace, because they were engaged in playing games, singing songs, and eating, and all these things that you will understand. And I'm sure of that. That is what is written. And lastly, he concludes by writing that it's your loving Jim. And here we finish off with that. There are some questions here. Try solving this one, and I'll come back again with another class. Thank you very much. Now, Bhowmik sir signing off. Stay safe at your home. Enjoy.